Hello guys, welcome to new video. So in this video tutorial, we are creating a Maven project and performing basic database operations using Java Persistent API. My name is Hoshiyar Singh Jani. In this video, we will explore the step-by-step process of creating a Maven project, adding dependencies of the Hibernate and JDBC connector, and changing the JRE version from 1.5 to the latest, and we are creating entity classes in this video. After that, we are performing CRUD operations and we are writing the JPQL query and native query both, and also we are write named query as well. So by the end of this tutorial, you will have a solid understanding of how to set up a project and perform database operations using JPA. So let's get started. So I share my screen for further explanation. So guys, my STS is open. So first of all, we are create a project. So we are not click on this create a Java project. We are creating a simple project. So in this project, you can see here, there are different project, Gradle, Maven. So we are creating a Maven project. So in this, you can see here, Maven project is here. So we are simply click on this, then next. So after that, you check this option. So create a simple project, skip archetype selection. So if you are not select this, then your application, your STS takes more time. So first of all, we are right here group ID. So this is our company name. So you can write here anything. So I am writing this. Artifact ID is the name of your application when your application is created. After this is the output of your jar file, like the end result of your application player. So we are creating a name here for our application. So player, then simply you can give the name description also. This is optional. So after that, finish. So our project is created. You can see here, guys, there are some folders here. First one, source main Java, source main resources, and these are two test folders. Okay, so we are write our dependencies, these things like the needed things in main resources, and we are creating our main packages in this upper folder. So first of all, you can see here, there are a file here, pom.xml. In this pom.xml file, the the main thing of the Maven is this pom.xml file. So with the help of this file, we can add dependencies by the tag dependencies, and we can create many dependency. We are not like when we are create a JDBC connector and we are build a path, then we simply download from the Google, and after that we are set the build path. So these all things are handled by the Maven. So we are right here simple tags. So for the video length, avoiding the video length, so I copy from here. So first of all, we are change the Java version. Okay. So you can see here, by default, the JRE, Java Runtime Environment System Library is 1.5. Okay. So in this, you cannot perform the Lambda expression, these things. So that's why we are, first of all, change the Java 1.5 to Java 17. So after that, you are simply press Control plus S. You can see here, this is the build is here. And Maven is handle your all things. It's download your this it's Maven's responsibility to change the version from 1.5 to 17, because we are set here. Like you can see here, compiler.source 17. So how we can update? Simply click on the player, right click, and here you can see here, guys, Maven is here. And in this update project, Alt F5, when you click on this, then here is a option force update of snapshot releases. So click on this and simply OK. After that, you can see here your Java runtime environment system library updated to Java 17. So after that, we are adding the dependency. You know very well, when we are adding the JDBC connector for the connecting our Java application to our MySQL or any database. So we are simply add the JRE in our library folder. After that, we are establish the connection, like we add the path, build path, class path. So these things are handled at this time by the Maven. So how we can add the dependencies? So guys, here are a tag dependencies. Okay, in this dependencies tag, this is plural tag and this is like singular. You can see here. We can add many dependency. We are simply add these things and our Maven project is automatically download for us. So I copy this and after the copy and paste, this notes is in the description. You can check. So all things are in description. So I paste this. So in the dependencies tag, we are write the our dependency. Like one dependency we need MySQL connector. So this is JDBC connector. Okay, because we need this dependency to interact with the MySQL database, and this is the Hibernate dependency. So guys, when I press here Control plus S, then you can see here one Maven dependencies folder is created. When you doing this first time, then it takes the time like 1-2 minutes it takes, but I already done this. So you can see here the Hibernate dependencies are here and MySQL connector is also here. I done only copy paste and Control S. All things are handled by the Maven. Okay, so if we are connect these dependency like manually, we add this jar file here, then build path, these things. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are approx 20 dependency. If you are creating a bigger project like this, dependent these jar files may be more than 100. So at that time, this is difficult to add one by one. So Maven is handle these things automatically. So dependency is added, property is changed Java 1.5 to Java 17. So all things is handled by the Maven. After that, guys, we give the our like when you are create a simple application at that time you are write your database properties in resource like db.properties, the properties file like your username, password, and the root of the MySQL database. So in this also we are right here in the resources folder we are give the destination of our database. So in this resources folder you are create a folder here. The name of folder is meta-inf. Meta-inf. In meta-inf, we are creating a file. The name of file is persistent.xml. In this persistent.xml, we are write some code that you can copy from the notes and also you can download from the Google. So this is the pom.xml and this is the persistent.xml. Okay, so we are creating this file persistent.xml and we are simply finish this. You can see here the persistent.xml file is created. In this, we are right here this code. I explain this code. First of all, I write this. So I copy from here and I simply paste here. So guys, you can see here the first of all, this is persistent tag. This is our XML file. In this, we have one name here. Persistent unit name is equal to player. So this is your database name that you are right. You can change this. You cannot like blindly copy and paste. You change this name because we are using this persistent when we are build the connection. Okay. So this is important here. After that, guys, there are some properties here. The first property is javax.persistent.jdbc.driver. So we are using Hibernate here, and we are here. You can see here we are using java.x.persistent. तो ये हम क्यों कर रहे हैं? इसका रीजन सिंपली यही है कि Hibernate एक ORM है, तो ऑब्जेक्ट रिलेशनल मैपिंग मीनिंग ऑफ दिस, एंड अगर हम हाइबरनेट की जो नेम्स है ये यूज करेंगे यहाँ पर तो क्या होगा कि हमारा इसके ऊपर एक वेंडर लॉक आ जाएगा। जब हमें अपना ये ओआरएम चेंज करना होगा तब हम नहीं कर सकते। सो ये मेथड जो हाइबरनेट के डिप्लीकेटेड है, आप यूज करना चाहो तो कर सकते हो, बट फिर ये है कि आप हाइबरनेट यूज करोगे। सो दैट्स व्हाई दिस इज द स्टैंडर्ड ओआरएम। सो वी आर यूजिंग द जावा एक्स persistent API JPA. We are using JPA here. We are using Hibernate and we are using JPA here, not Hibernate names here. Okay. So that's why first of all This is our JDBC connector. Like you can see here, name javax.persistent.jdbc driver, values com.mysql.cj.jdbc driver. After that, this is our MySQL destination, localhost 3306, and my database name is player. So till now I am not creating any database, so I create this database. After that we are doing this. So after that, this is our password of this is our username, and this is root is our password. This can be vary from, like when you are creating this, if your password is different, then you can change this value. So after that, this is a property that are performed when we are doing the operations of the when we are doing the CRUD operations in this application. So Hibernate create the queries for us. In the JDBC, we are creating prepared statement, and we are doing the CRUD operations. In the Hibernate application, this application, Hibernate doing these things for us. Okay. And if we want to see the queries, like what are happened in the backend. So with the help of this property name hibernate.showSQL values true. So when we apply this property, these two properties are optional. Okay, you can avoid this. So the reason of these two are I am mentioning here. So when you want to see the logs of, like when you are see the logs of Hibernate, at that time you can see like which query is executed and Hibernate, how how Hibernate is working at the backend side. Okay, so we can see the all queries, like if we are fetching the data of a student that are like his marks is between the 100 to 3 between the 100 to 300. So we can see that how Hibernate is working, how its queries, how Hibernate is creating his query. So we can see these queries here. And this properties for the Hibernate dot xbm to ddl dot auto values update. So guys, I write here update. The meaning of this query is we are creating this database player in our MySQL database. Okay. So when we are creating the entity class in this, so what is entity class? Entity class is a class that deals with our database. Okay. We are doing all operations with the help of our Java class here. Okay. So हमने कोई भी टेबल क्रिएट नहीं की है. अगर हमारी एक एंटिटी क्लास है हमारी इसके अंदर, जो हमारा फोल्डर हम क्रिएट करेंगे सोर्स जो मेन जावा के अंदर कोई भी हम क्लास क्रिएट करेंगे, सो उस नेम की अगर टेबल एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती है डेटाबेस के अंदर, सो वो टेबल उस टाइम क्रिएट हो जाएगी. सो इस प्रॉपर्टी का मीन्स यही है. एंड अगेन वी आर एडिंग सम डेटा, देन दिस इज अपडेटेड. इफ दिस इज क्रिएट, देन the first time it's create, and if the table is contain more than like it contain 5-10 datas, so when we are execute our program again, then this is all last table is dropped and new table is created. If you use here create, so it's your responsibility to, after the using first time, you remove this query from here. After then, if you are not removing, then it create again and again, and the all the last tables that you are created is destroyed. Okay, so that's why we are writing here update here. Okay, so this is persistent.xml is also created, and this is the persistent unit. This is close. In this we are writing here properties. So these are the properties that I explained to you. So after that, in this main folder, we are creating our simple project that we are created in JDBC and these things. So after that, I create a package here. So first package is com.model. So this is model. In this, we are creating our entity classes that deals with our database. After that, com.DAO. So in this package, we are deals with our database. We are doing some operations to dealing with our database. After that, we are creating a package here. The name of package is com.utils. So this is util package. After that, we are creating our UI package that interact with the user, com.ui. So these four packages we are created. So first of all, guys, we are start with the model. Okay, so we are creating a player here. So in the player, there are some fields here. So first of all, player ID, name, sports name, and age. These things are explained in the further video. So wait till. So in the model, we are creating a class here. The name of class is player. Player, player, and finish. So player class is created, and now I copy paste from here. So this is our class getter, setter, and those methods override toString. So I simply put here. Okay. So you can see here, this is our simple class till now. If we are not using this entity annotation and these two things, so I explain this thing. So first of all, you can see here, guys, ignore these things. Line 4, line 5, line 7, line 8. Okay. So this is our simple DTO class. The name of class is player, and in players there are 4 fields: player ID, name, sport name, and age. After that, zero parameterized constructor, zero argument constructor. After that, one constructor that contains the 3 fields. In this variable, you can see here we have four things here: PID, name, sports name, and age. But we are creating a 3 parameterized constructor because the reason of this, we are not passing the player ID. It is auto generated by the our program. Okay, so that's why I am writing here generated value. So after that, you can see these are the only getter setter method, and after that the override to string here, nothing else. So guys, if you want to deal with the database with help of your class, then you mention here entity at the rent entity. The meaning of entity here is this is your entity class, and this all operation at the till time you are performing with your database. So now these all things you are performing with now this class. So this is meaning the entity class means the same name table is exist in your database, and you are telling your code like this is entity class and we can perform with this code. Okay, so when you click on the entity, so here is option like import entity javax persistent एंड इम्पोर्ट एंटिटी org hibernate डॉट एनोटेशन. कोई सा भी कर सकते हो, बट इसमें ही अगर हाइबरनेट वाला करोगे तो अगर कभी ORM चेंज करना पड़ा तो ये सब कुछ चेंज करना पड़ेगा. सो दैट्स व्हाई वी आर यूजिंग स्टैंडर्ड JPA जावा परसिस्टेंट API. सो हम यही यूज करेंगे जावा एक्स डॉट परसिस्टेंट. सो आई इंपोर्ट दिस. आफ्टर दैट, so guys, with the handle to the database, we are mentioning here like in the 4 fields, one is our primary ID, primary key. So we are mentioned here the int PID is our primary key. Okay, so this is auto generated by the this code. Okay, so you can see here this is simple your ID. Okay, when I click on this, then I import java x persistent. So this is imported, and we want to like perform this operation like auto increment. So that's why we are writing here at the rate generation value strategy is equal to generation type dot identity. When you write here identity, at that time the in the database no separate table is created. After like first of all I click here and I import this. So generation type I import. So guys, one is identity here. So when we are not use identity here, when you can use here sequence also. When you use sequence here, at that time what happened, when you check your table in database, so one player table is created. Along the player table, one more table is created that are created by this Hibernate, and that contains our primary key sequence. So when we insert first data at that time in this Hibernate table, one is present in primary key. After that, it changes the values like this. When we right here sequence, then two tables is created. One is player and second is for the handling the all primary key sequence. If we are using here identity, like what we are right here further, when we use here identity, then no separate table is created. So that's why I using here identity. So this is done, player is created. After that, we are creating UI at the last. So first of all, our this is done. Now we are creating our DAO application. So DAO package. In the DAO, we are creating these methods. Okay, player DAO. So I create a class here. The name of player DAO. So we are creating the interface. So I write here interface. Interface is created. Okay. So we are import the player and we are import the list here because it throw the error java.util and all done. So now we are write this all method. First of all, add player, find player. We are add player, we are passing the player here. And we are deal with our entity class. This data is added to our MySQL database. So after that, we are find the player with ID, update player by ID, and we are updating the sport name here. After that, we are deleting the player, and after that, we are get the name from the database. Okay, and we are getting the uppercase name. Get minimum age from the database of the all players and list get players between age. We are passing the two age and we are taking the old data. We are retrieving the old data from database. And last one is get player starting with the letter. So we are passing one letter and all that player that are present that special character like special letter, all names are come in the form of list of string. So now we are implement this player DAO, new class and player DAO implementation. So we are writing here implements player DAO IMPL player DAO. Okay, so now why not coming? Add and implement methods. So all methods are come in front of you. So guys, first of all, we are adding player in our database. So it's good to create a database with the name player. So create database player. Player is created and use player. Player is used here. So first of all, we are performing add player. So we are passing from the UI main, we are passing the player and this is written the string like player is added or not. So I write here. So first of all, this is method for the adding the player. So I write here. So guys, this method is added for the player. So this is our entity manager for the getting the connection. So I forget this. So first of all, I create the connection. So we are creating a class here. The class name is what we can write here. EM utils. Okay. EM utils. This is our class name. EM utils is created. So we are creating first of all entity manager factory FACTORY factory. So I think spelling is mistake. So I open my Notion notes for the FCT factory. Wait, guys, for this. So EM utils. So entity manager factory. So we are using the separate method for getting the connection, because when we want to perform this operation again and again. That's why we are creating this empty manager factory. EMF is equal to, like we are right here, first of all, null. So import entity manager factory. So I write here a static block. So we are declared this static variable, private static, this thing, and we are done in this static block, because when our class is load, then at the time this is automatically take the value in the entity manager factory. So EMF value is equal to persistence. So guys, the spelling is mistake, so that's why I write copy from the here. Persistent dot create. These are two big names. So I write here our unit name. So I told you in the persistent.xml, where is it? Persistent.xml. This is your persistent unit name player. Okay. So this name we are write in our this persistent class. Okay. So PMF is equal to persistent.create manages factory player. So we are importing this import persistent Java X persistent. So we are creating entity manager factory. So this is static block. When our class is loaded, at that time, entity manager factory value is coming this. Okay. So after that, we are creating a method here. The method for the getting the value, getting the connection value. So public, and we are written here ENTI entity manager. So we are import we are importing this ENTITY entity manager. Entity manager, and the method name is public entity. We are creating this static method public, because we are calling this from the class name public static entity manager, and the name of method is get connection. Okay. So please wait. So we are right here, get connection. So we are getting the entity manager here. So that's why I think good name is get entity manager. This is a good name. So after that, this is our EMF values here. So how we can return from here? Return EMF dot, and after that create entity manager. You can see here, guys. So this is returned to us a entity manager. Okay, and we are importing this entity manager. So now our error is also gone. Okay, so we are use this class again and again. So that's why I am using the separate class here. So now we are perform the other operations. So this is our DAO implementation. So this is our entity manager here. So we are import this entity manager. So EM utils, we are importing the EM utils also. This is our class. So guys, you can see here, first of all, we are taking the entity manager from the emutils.get entity manager. So I am calling this method that I have created in front of you. So em is come. Then after that, what we are doing here, we are adding a player here. So this player is added in the transaction area because we are performing a DML operation here. So all DML queries are performed in the transaction area. So for the performing in the transaction area, we simply write here em.get transaction.begin, and this em variable em.get transaction.commit, and after that we are closing the connection em.close, and in this we have a method em.persist. The meaning of the persist is we are adding the our value in our database. Like persist method is used for adding the entity class and adding the entity class object in our database. So we are passing the player from the UI main that we are right at the last. You understand very well at the last of this when we explain the UI main. So em persist is done. After that em close, and what it is written is it return a string value successfully added a player, and we can get the name from the player na, like player is a object of the player class, and we can get the name from player.get name because we have getter setter methods, and it return a string. After that the string is come in UI main, and we are simply print like player is added successfully. Otherwise, if anything happen, then error is shown in front of you. So this is add player is done. In this way, we can add anything, any object of the entity class in our database. So after that, this method for the find the player. So guys, how we can find the player? So first of all, we have a method in our this code is find method em.find. Here is no use to like these operations em.get transaction began, em.get transaction commit, because this is a not a DML statement. So that's why we can simply use like em dot we first of all we get the connection from the entity manager, this thing. Okay. After that em dot find, we have a find method. In this we are passing the class name here, like from which class we want to find the player. So we want to find the player dot class. A class is used for the, like we tell to ORM Hibernate, like we want to find the data from player dot class. Okay, and we are passing here ID. This ID person we need. Okay, so this return a single player. So we are storing the value in player. So this is our player object. We get the player, and we simple return the player from here. So we can pass player. So we can return player from here. So we can write the condition here. If player is not null at that time, we can pass the message like player is not found in our database. So I write here also. So I write the simple. So I apply this condition for the simple when player is existing your database. Find player by player ID. Same thing. Return em dot find player dot class ID. If you can check also if like it get the player from the database. So if player is not exist at that time, we can simply say that player is not exist in database. So you can return the string also from here. So you can also return the string message like player not found. Otherwise, you can simply return the player from here. So this method is also done. Find the player by player ID. After that, a method here string update player. So update is can be taken. We can perform the update operation by the two options, like one is the merge method and one is the set method. So update player is very easy. So first of all, create an entity manager. Get entity manager. We are creating the connection. After that, we are find out, like, if we want to update a player, this player is exist or not in database. So I copy this. After that, I explain the code to you. So you can see here, this is update player. We are passing two things. First of all, we want to update player with the ID, and we want to update the port name. So first of all, we are creating the connection. Entity manager em is equal to em dot get entity manager. So we are getting the connection. After, guys, this thing is simple as when we are creating the connection in dbutils. So we are creating a separate class like dbutil.get connection. These are the same thing here, because you see in the persistent.xml we are writing the same things: username, password, and database location. These all things we are write. So the different thing is, this is Maven and that is simple your jdbc application at that time. So we are creating the connection. And first of all, we want to update the player now. So we find out this player is exist or not in database. So if em.find, we can find now with the help of find method. Em.find player.class id. It returns the player. If this player is null, at that time we can simply say that player not found for the update. And otherwise, if player is not null, then we are doing some operation. So this is also a DML operation. This is DML. We are doing some changes in database. So at that time, we need to perform here all these things in transaction area. So first of all, you can see here, em.get transaction.begin. After that, em.getTransaction.commit, then em.close. After that, we can simply return from here, player updated successfully. So what I am doing here, so that player we are find from the ID. So we are performing operation here like player.set port name. So we are passing, because we are creating the getter setter in the class now. So that's why we can simply set that player.set port name, and we are passing this port name in this. So our player's sport name is updated. After that, we are simply perform the merge operation like em.merge, and we are passing this same player. Like at this line, after the line number 45, we know very well our player's sport name is updated successfully. Now we can perform the merge operation. So em.merge, and we are passing the same player. So if this is null, if we not find out this from the database, at that time we simply return the not found for the update. Otherwise, we return player updated successfully. So after that, a one method is delete player. So same thing guys here, same thing. We are performing the same thing here. So I copied these all things from here, and I am doing these small changes. So you can see here, entity manager em connection player. We are find out if we want to delete any player by id, then it's necessary this player is exist in database or no. So if this is not exist, so we can simply say that player not found for the for for which operation, delete, and player successfully deleted, player deleted successfully. So in this, what we can write here, this is necessary because this is TML statement. We want to perform operation. So player dot, we are not set anything here. At the place of merge, we are simply write here remove. Done. So with the help of em.remove, we can remove our player. So we are getting the ID. We are passing the ID. With the help of ID, we find out our player, and we are passing the player in our remove function here. Okay. So this is also done. We can remove. So guys, these are the four operations here: get names from database, get minimum age, list players between the ages, and the get names starting with the letter. So this method I perform the all operation like simple query, JPQL queries, native query, named query, all things we are exploring this method. So first of all, I clear this method. So मैंने पहले लिख रखा है ये सारा अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए. So delete वाला हो गया perform. You can see here em.remove. We are doing the same. Now we are write the JPL query for doing some operations. Named query, named native query, and retrieve these all things we are. So get name from database. So guys, this is our first method. So I copy the same thing. This is our first method. First way is type query. So typed query is a child interface of query interface, but in this you should confident about the return type. So in this guys, we are getting the name. We are getting the names from the database and we are returning the list of the strings here. Okay. So what are happening here? So I explain these things. So first query आपके सामने यहाँ पर ये है. So string JPQuery variable name हो गया इसका. So select uppercase, select upper p dot name from player p. So we are creating a alias name of the player p. This is our class. So in JPQuery language, Java persistent query language, the queries are same in the like MySQL and in this some small changes like the star is not used in JPQL. But here you can see this name is our variable name of our, you can see here this name is this name, okay, not our table column name. So this thing is different in this, and this player is not our player table. This is our player class here. So this is if we write here p, then it give the exception. So keep it in mind. So we are aliasing p and we are getting the p dot name and we want to all names in uppercase. So this is our query is created. After that, guys, there are one way to write our query. So em, we are creating our connection here. So em dot create query, and we are passing JPQuery, and this give the string because we know very well the name is in the type of string format. So we are writing here if we are create the typed query. Okay, so you can see here typed query is a child of interface of the query. So query का भी एक एग्जांपल देखेंगे. पहले एक बार टाइप क्वेरी में क्या होता है, इसमें हमें डाउनकास्टिंग नहीं करनी पड़ती. So when we use the typed query, then we are passed the return type here. So the string class value is written from this query em.create query, and we are passing the query here, and the second parameter is string dot class because the result is come in from this column is string type. After that, this is typed query. I click here and import the java.x.persistent, and after that, what we can write here, query.getResultList. So all the names, we get the list of the all names with the help of .getResultList, query.getResultList. This gives us a list of string type, and the name of list is names, and we are simply written our list here. Okay. So if we are very confident about the return type, then we can use the typed query. So there no need to downcast. So in this, we are passing the two parameters. This is the first way. And now we are at the second way, like how we can write. So this is our second way. So we explore the four things here. This is our second way. In this way, second way, it return the object list. So here we are creating query, note this typed query. This is interface. So guys, you can see here entity manager em.utils connection. After that, we are creating the same query here, and now we are creating here query note typed query. So we are getting this import query Java X management. So here are some queries to URI. So form.mysql.cj This is management towards the Hibernate. This is java.x.persistent. We are voting this. Okay. So we are voting this. After that, simply em.create query. Here we are passing simple. Now we are not passing anything because this is not typed query. This is only query. After that, with the help of Q, we are getting the result list. Same thing there. Get result list. Q go to get result list. But guys, in this, the return type is not string. Okay. The return type is always object type. So it's our duty. So when we use the query, then we convert this object to string, integer, anything. We are doing the downcasting here. So what I am doing here, I create a list of string. The name of list is names and new array list. This is our array list. After that, I am creating a nice for loop object type, and this is variable name, and this is list name here, and names dot add, and I am adding this x, and this is object type. I am downcasting it in string value. So this names list is whole names list is contain the string value. So you can see here I am downcasting here. Then after that I am returning. So you can compare those things. If you are using the typed query, at that time you are passing the outcome here. Okay, like the string things is returning. So that's why there are no need to downcasting. We are simply store the value in the list. And if you are use the query, then remember you get the result in the object type. So this is the second thing. After that, we are explore the third thing. Okay. So the third one is this one. I copy from here and I simply paste it. Third way, we can use named query if we require to write same query again and again in multiple data access layer classes. It is recommended to use named query in which we centralize the query with a unique name inside the entity class and refer that name in all the data access layer classes. So guys, you can see here, this is our connection. After that, we are creating query to it's called em.create name query. Here we are right here. You can see here create query. Simple thing is different is we are change create named query. So you can see here create named query and we are passing the name of our query that we are given to our query. Like assume if our query is so lengthy, we are dealing with the 4-5 tables. At that time, our queries, if we want to use that query again and again, so it's good now like we are write the query one time and we are put this query on our related class, and after that we give the name of that query and we use the simple name. This is simply name player.get names. You can write here xyz also. So I write the useful name like meaningful name like that. At that time using at the time of using I simply I am not forget this like what is the meaning of this query. So player.get name. So where I am writing this query, so where is player class? So this is our player class. So guys, you can see here. Or we can write query. You can write here multiple queries here like this. So I import the named query java.x.persistent यही करना है सभी को. So अभी क्या है कि हमने name दिया है इसको player.get names named at the rate named query annotation. Okay, on the player class at the rate named query. So here you can write XYZ, ABC, your name also, player.get names because we want to get the name. So first thing is name. After that, the queries. We write here query select p.name from player. So we get the all names from the player. So we get the all names from players. So the name of this query is player.get name. We write this name. So that's why we declare here. So now we can use here that. So you can see here, I am using em.create name query and I am passing my query name here, player.get names, meaning I am passing the whole query here. After that, I am creating the query. So you know very well when we use the query, so it return type is object. It's our responsibility to downcast it. Otherwise, you can use this thing. typed query. In this, there are no need to downcast. So here I am using the simply query. So em.create query, player.get names, list of object, and we are getting q.get result list. After that, I am creating a names list, and simply I'm doing the same thing. I am downcasting in the string and the adding in this list. Okay, after that I am returning the names. So this is the third way. अभी एक और देखते हैं. The fourth way is this one, guys. Control C, and here we are right here. This is our fourth way. Entity manager. This is our connection. After that, this is native query. So what is the meaning of native query? Native query are the same query, because if you not want to follow the JPQL Java persistent query language, you are comfortable in the MySQL queries. So you can use the MySQL query as well. So that query is called native query. So how we can write the query? Select name from players, because we need the names from the player. So you can see here. Here you can write here P small also, because it deals with our database. So I write here, and here you can write name small also. If you are used the JPQL at that time, if you write NAME, then it gives the error, because here we are using native query. So I am writing here query string native query select name from the player that deals with our MySQL database. So after that, I am creating a query. So here I am using same query. So meaning of query, it get the object type result. Okay, so we are downcasting this. Okay, so this is name, this is query em.create native query. Here is one name is coming native. So we tell us, we tell to our database, our class, like we are using here native query, and like em.create native query, and we are passing this native query. And one thing in this, we are passing the string dot class, because we are getting the string value in this. So we are passing this value here. So this is necessary here. Okay, the parameter. So we are tell to our code, like we are dealing with this query. We are passing native query, and the result type is string dot class. And after that, list of string and q dot get result list and list. And here, this is, guys, if you want to give the like this thing, you can like where it is. So this is warnings that if you want to give to our code, you can give like super warnings. So unchecked, we are not right here. We are simply use this one. Add super warnings unchecked get names from database. So here we are writing these things. So this is for the unchecked, because we are doing the not doing the here downcasting. We are simply write in the string. So at the time, it's our responsibility to handle these things. Okay, so that's why this warning is coming. So all four things are clear, guys. We are discussed named query, native query, JPQL query. So for this code, we are using simply this query. Okay, done. We are explore all things here. After that, we are getting minimum age. So this is the simple queries. I am simply copy paste here. Get minimum age. This is get minimum age. Simply create the connection. Write a JPQL query. Select min of p.age. So I am writing here a capital. So means this is our JPQL queries. We can like understand with these names, like we are writing here P capital, A capital. So this is JPQL query. Select minimum of the all ages of the player. So it gives the one value, because minimum value from the old database from player P. So this alias name, I am using alias name for the variable like p.age. So after that, I write here typed query. Means the typed query means we are not used to any downcast here. So typed query, and the return type is integer. The query is query em dot create query, and in create query we are passing JPQuery, and it return type is integer value. So that's why I am writing here integer dot class. And you know very well, when query dot get single result, because you know very well it gives the minimum from the old database. So it give only one result. So we can use the get single result. So query dot get single result. If the multiple result is come, that at that time we can write here q dot get result list. So this is like we getting single result from here aggregate function. So get single result and we are storing in the integer min age and we are returning this minimum age. Okay. So after that, the list of players get players between the edges. So again, list of the players. This is our list of players between the edges. So get players between edges. So first of all, connection, I write a JPQuery, Java persistent query language, select P from player, alias name P, where P dot is between 18 to 25. I am writing this query here. Okay. So now you can see here, typed query. I am writing a typed query, and here when we use the typed query, then there are no need to downcast. We are simply say to our code like we are using type query and we are declare the return type. So you know very well when we are getting the value from select P from player P means what is the meaning of this? Meaning of this we are getting the old data like complete data of the player that is between the 18 to 25. So you can see here. So it return the player dot class. It return the player class. Player dot class. So that's why I'm writing here. After that, it we are storing the in the list of players. And how we can write query dot get result list because we are getting the result list from here. And the return type is player dot class because we are using here type query. So after that, we are returning this player list. The last thing is get player name starting with the specific letter. So this is the last method. And after that, we are doing the UI. So list of string get player names starting with the letter. We are passing a letter here like A, B, C, D, A to Z. So entity manager, this is our connection. I am writing here JPQuery. So guys, here we are discuss the named query. You can write here JPQuery select P dot name. We are getting the names, all names from player P this alias name with P names like letter pattern. So this is guys declaration of a name like dot dot. Then we are write any value here like x y z a b c. So this is name. Here we are put the here we are put a set the parameter. So that parameter we are passing this letter here. So this is only name. So how we can write here? You know very well we are passing the value. There is like in the prepared statement. This is question mark here. So how we can pass like dot dot letter pattern abc xyz. You can write anything. After that I am writing a typed query. We are written from this, we are returning the strings because we are getting the old names here. So jpquery and string dot class. After that we are set the parameters. So how we can set the parameters? You can see here this is a query dot set parameters. First of all write this name because at this position we want to set the name. So letter pattern. After that, we are passing this letter here because that if user pass A, then the A is come here. Plus we are adding modulo sign because the name start with the A. All names are come in our this list of string. Like at this way we can set the parameter letter pattern comma letter plus modulo. So after that, this is list of string player's name query dot get results list because you know very well we use typed query. There are no need to downcasting. We get the result in string because we are declaring a string dot class. So we can write this like if player names is empty, like there are no players that name is start with A or S anything. At that time we return the empty list. So I am writing here like player dot name. If list is empty, so player name dot add. So I am passing here simple string no player found, and this list is contained like no player found and written this. Otherwise, our names of player is written from here. So this is the complete things here. Get names from database. So what is the error here? 4 3 2 1 return names. So I comment out this. So that's why. Now, okay. So this is there is no need to write this thing also, and whole things are okay in this. After that, we are right here our main class, new class UI main. The UI main is created. So I copy from UI main, and after that I explain to you everything what is happening in this. All this copy. Yeah. Okay. Done. So guys, first of all, this is our this is our DAO, PlayerDAO, and this is PlayerDAO implementation. So we are creating this, and after that, I am creating scanner class object. Scanner is also important. So first of all, choice is zero. Player, if we print one, then add player to database. Two for find player two by player ID. Update players put name by player ID. Delete player from database by player ID. Retrieve all names of player from database in uppercase. 6 is for the retrieve minimum age of the all players. 7th is retrieve all the players between the age of the 18 to 25. 8 for the retrieve all players names starting with the name a specific letter. 9 for the exit. And this is choice sc.nextInt. And this is to consume the leftover new line character. So choice here, guys. We write any choice from here. If the choice is one, then enter player name. Then we are getting the name. After that, we are getting the age here. And this is consuming for the next line. Then player sport name. Then after it, new player name is sport name. Because here we are taking the all things from the input taking part. Then we are creating a player. And we are not passing ID because we are using auto-generated thing. Okay. So we are passing name as sport. So that's why I am creating three parameterized constructor, the three parameters in our constructor. So after that, if this player is created, then system.out.println, we are creating our DAO already here. So you can see here, DAO dot, we can call our add player method and we are passing this player to our add player that we have created in the implementation. Then after that, this second for the find player by ID. So enter the player ID, we are getting the value, and if the player is found, DAO dot find player. If it is find, then we are write player found and the name of player is this. Okay. So means we are print our player here. Otherwise, we can simply say that player is not found in the database. So third thing is for the update. So we are passing the ID and the new sport, and we are simply print DAO.update player. We are passing two things here. After that, we are delete player. First of all, we pass the ID of player that we want to delete. Okay, if this is not exist, then simply print there are no player found. And if it is found, then we simply delete. And the name of the all players, this is the DAO.get names calling minimum age, DAO.get minimum age. And this is for the DAO.get players between age. This method is also created. And after that, this method is for the starting letter of the player names. If we want to search anything, like we pass the value here. So the value, like we are passing HOS. So we are getting the first letter, caret 0. We are passing H here. The player name starting with the letter. So like H. So we are printing here. Now dot get player's name starting with the letter. We are passing here H here from the here. Okay. Then after that, 9 for the objecting. So then after that, the default for the invalid choice, and please try again. So that's all of the UI main. So we are run our, so we are create our database player, and the player is also existing this. Then save. This is our UI.main. Now we are run our program. What is happening? So I run this program, Java application. Okay. So wait, guys. We find out the problem. Now it's working now. So I click on this. So first of all, add player to database. So first of all, I write one here. So enter player name, Ushia, player age 24, and the sport name I write here judo. So after that, these are Hibernate logs. After that, you can see here successfully added player Hushar. And after that, find we also check in our database like show tables. One player table is created. Select star from table. Select star from player. So one added IDs automatically, and the table is created only one here. After that, we are adding one more player here. This is like 17. Player name, sports name is one player is added, and player name in case player is age is 23. Sports name so find the player by player ID. So I write here 2 and the player ID is 2. So the 2 player IDs Manish Sports Cricket. You can see here after update the player. If we want to change the sport name. So we write here 3 and the player ID we want to change the one player sport name. Sport name is now like which one? Volleyball. Done. This is created. So guys, that properties like we can see the Hibernate how it is work in the backend. So you can see here it is created this type of queries in backend side, and we can see these queries also. So player updated successfully. So now we can check also find player 2 and we writing 1. So the Hushar sports name is volleyball now updated. After that, delete player. So I want to delete a player. So there are 3 players. So that's why we are first of all we are performing these operations. 5. Retrieve all names player from the database in uppercase. So we write 5 here. So there are 3 players. So Share Manish Mukesh. After that, we try minimum age. So you can see here the minimum age is 17. That is Manish Mukesh. After that, we try all players age between the 18 to 25. So we write here 7. So there are 2 players. There are age between the 18 to 25. After that, we try all player names starting with the specific character. So I write here M. Sorry. First of all, we write here 8 and write here M. So there are 2 players that name start with the M. So now we are delete also 4. So 4 enter the ID 1. So player deleted successfully. So Share is deleted from the table successfully. There are 2 players remaining 2 and 3 ID you can see here. So guys, this is the simple application of the JPQL. Hope you understand all things, how it is work, and I explain the whole code to you, like how we can create these methods. And in this particular method, we discuss all things like native query, named query, as well as JPQL queries, named JPQL queries, all things I cover in this video. If you understand very well, then okay. If you have any doubt, then you can ask in the comment section also. And ऐसी वीडियोस आती रहेगी चैनल पर नए हो तो सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हो ऐसी वीडियोस के लिए। और वीडियो थोड़ी पसंद आई हो तो लाइक कर सकते हो, ज्यादा पसंद आई हो तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब भी कर सकते हो और अपने दोस्तों के साथ भी शेयर कर सकते हो। तो गाइस मिलते हैं किसी न्यू वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए